Have you ever wondered how our beautiful blue planet came into existence? Let's journey back in time about 4.5 billion years ago to the birth of our solar system. Picture a dense cloud of interstellar gas and dust, collapsing into a swirling disk of matter. As this matter heated up, hydrogen fused into helium, giving birth to our sun and setting the stage for the birth of Earth. In the farthest corners of this spinning disk, clumps of matter began to stick together. These clumps, the seedlings of our planets and moons, grew as they gathered more matter. Closer to the sun, the rocky material formed the inner planets, including our own Earth. Now imagine a young and active Earth spewing out gases like hydrogen sulfide, methane and carbon dioxide. This was Earth's first atmosphere, a far cry from the one we breathe today. During this time, Earth was a target for large asteroids and comets, enduring constant bombardment. But the most significant impact was yet to come. Theia, a planet about the size of Mars, collided with our young Earth in a cataclysmic event. This collision resulted in chunks of matter scattering around Earth's orbit. Over time, gravity bound these pieces together, forming our moon. So, there we have it, the birth of our Earth. Born from the remnants of a spinning disk of matter, growing through the accumulation of rock and gas, surviving a violent collision, and coming out of it with its own moon. But this was just the beginning. The Earth was still a very different place from the one we inhabit today. It would take billions of years of evolution, transformation, and a series of fortunate events for it to become the planet we call home. So that's how our planet was born, complete with its own moon. But it was far from being the Earth we know today. With Earth's birth out of the way, let's dive into the next big milestone, the creation of our oceans and the birth of life. Picture a young Earth, hot, tumultuous, and devoid of any oceans. At this stage, all the water existed solely as gas. As the planet cooled down over the next several 100 million years, this water vapor began to condensate and transform into a liquid state. This cooling process led to the formation of the very first primitive ocean, engulfing the young Earth and transforming it into a literal water world. What a sight that must have been. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about water? Well, in the grand scheme of life, water is absolutely crucial. H2O, as we know it, is an essential ingredient for creating living things. With an entire planet cloaked in water, the stage was set for the next act in Earth's drama, the emergence of life. Life, as we understand it, began in the waters of this primitive ocean around 3.7 billion years ago. The very first life forms were not the complex creatures we see today, but rather microscopic organisms. These tiny, single-celled entities were the pioneers, the first ones to call Earth home. And while these microorganisms might seem insignificant compared to the diverse life we see around us today, don't be fooled. These humble beginnings were the first steps in a long, intricate dance that would eventually lead to all the life forms we are familiar with today, from the tiniest bacteria to the largest blue whale, and of course, us humans. So there you have it. From a hot, inhospitable rock, Earth transformed into a water world, creating the perfect environment for life to emerge. These microscopic organisms took their first breath in this primitive ocean, marking the start of a grand evolutionary journey that continues to this day. And so, against all odds, life found a way to begin in the depths of this primitive ocean. From a water world, Earth began to mold itself into a recognizable shape with the emergence of the first continents. A massive shift in our planet's topography was underway. This was no overnight transformation, but a gradual geological process that spanned millions upon millions of years. Let's set the scene. Picture a world dominated by an endless ocean, a boundless expanse of water. But beneath these titanic waves, the Earth's crust was not idle. It was continuously shifting and changing, engaging in a ceaseless dance of creation and destruction. And it was from these depths that the first continents, known as cratons, made their grand entrance. Cratons are the ancient stable parts of the Earth's lithosphere. They formed as the planet's tectonic activity thrust the crust upwards, creating land masses that rose above the ocean's surface. These cratons were the building blocks of the continents we know today, the very foundations of our terrestrial world. But the Earth didn't stop at creating individual land masses. Oh no, it had grander plans in store. As these cratons grew and merged, they formed the first supercontinent, a landmass known as Valbara. Now, Valbara wasn't exactly a sprawling landmass. In fact, it was quite small, smaller than the present-day continent of Australia. But its significance in Earth's history is monumental. Valbara was the first time the Earth's crust had come together to form a single, unified landmass. It was the first step towards the continents we know and love today. Valbara's existence, however, was fleeting. Over time, tectonic forces tore it apart, scattering its pieces across the globe. But the legacy of Valbara lived on. It set the stage for the formation of future supercontinents, each one playing a crucial role in the evolution of our planet. And thus, the first land masses took shape, paving the way for a more familiar Earth. This was a time of monumental change, a time when the Earth was crafting itself into the planet we call home. But, as we'll soon see, our planet's journey was far from over. As continents formed, life on Earth took a revolutionary step. It started producing oxygen. Picture this: about 2.4 billion years ago, cyanobacteria, humble microscopic organisms, evolved and started a remarkable process: photosynthesis. They began to harness the energy of the sun to convert carbon dioxide and water into sugars, their food. And as a byproduct, they released oxygen, a gas that was almost non-existent in the Earth's atmosphere up until then. This monumental shift in Earth's atmospheric composition is known as the Great Oxygenation Event. As the levels of oxygen increased, it reacted with the methane in the atmosphere, transforming it into carbon dioxide. This shift was a game changer. While methane is a powerful greenhouse gas, carbon dioxide is much less so. The result? Our planet began to cool dramatically. As the Earth cooled, the water vapor in the atmosphere condensed, and the first raindrops fell onto the land. The temperature continued to plummet, and Earth entered its first ice age. This wasn't a brief, chilly period. This was a severe global glaciation, a snowball Earth, where ice sheets extended all the way to the equator. The cyanobacteria, the very architects of this icy world, had to adapt fast or perish. Under the thick ice, they clung to survival, continuing their oxygen production, but at a much slower pace. This ice age was a long, hard winter for Earth, but it was not eternal. Eventually, volcanic activities pumped out enough greenhouse gases to warm the atmosphere, causing the ice to melt. As the ice retreated, it released the trapped oxygen, leading to another spike in atmospheric oxygen levels. This, in turn, set the stage for the evolution of more complex life forms that thrived in an oxygen-rich environment. So, from the humble cyanobacteria emerged an oxygenated world, a world that entered and emerged from an ice age, a world that was slowly becoming more habitable for the diverse life forms that were yet to evolve. With oxygen and ice, Earth was slowly becoming a more habitable place. While Earth was freezing over, its continents were on the move and life was evolving. As the icy grip of the first ice age began to thaw, the continents were not content to sit still. They were moving, drifting over the molten mantle beneath. This constant, albeit slow movement is due to a process known as plate tectonics. These massive land masses, like pieces on a giant chessboard, were shifting and reassembling, creating a new geological jigsaw puzzle. Around 1 billion years ago, the continents came together to form a supercontinent known as Rodinia. This was no small suburban gathering. It was a grand reunion of continental proportions. Rodinia, a true behemoth, was possibly the largest supercontinent to ever grace the surface of our planet. But life, as we know, abhors stagnation. As the continents were shuffling around, life on Earth was undergoing its own transformation. The simple, single-celled organisms that had dominated the planet for eons were evolving, becoming more complex. This was a turning point in Earth's biological history, a shift from the simplicity of single-celled life to the complexity of multicellular organisms. Yet, change is the only constant. Just as life was becoming more complex, so too were the continents restless. Rodinia, the supercontinent, started breaking apart. The pieces of this grand landmass drifted away from each other, only to come together again some 300 million years later. This time, they formed another supercontinent, one that you might be more familiar with, Pangaea. Pangaea, a name that translates to all Earth, was a fitting moniker. It was a vast expanse of land surrounded by a global ocean, a testament to Earth's dynamic nature. And on this supercontinent, life continued to evolve, laying the groundwork for the diversity of species we see today. From a hot, lifeless rock to a planet teeming with life, Earth's journey has been nothing short of miraculous. The story of our planet is one of constant change, of continents moving and life evolving. And it's a story that's far from over. Who knows what the next chapter in Earth's history will bring? Let's take a moment to marvel at the extraordinary journey our planet has taken, from its fiery birth amidst the cosmos, the formation of its first oceans and the spark of life, to the rise of continents and the dance of supercontinents. We've seen the arrival of oxygen, the onset of ice ages, and the evolution of life from simple microbes to the complex biodiversity we witness today. Next time you step outside, remember the billions of years of history beneath your feet. Our Earth has truly been through a lot.